We're back. The best of food and wine with Anthony Gismondi and Casey Wilson live from the Wines of Canada stage at the 2017 Vancouver International Wine Festival. Now, here's Tony and Casey.
And there's no stopping us right now. I feel so close to you right now.
Welcome back to the Best of Food and Wine. I'm Tony Gismondi.
I'm Casey Wilson.
We're live today on the Saturday afternoon of the Vancouver National Wine Festival. An absolutely jam-packed room. I can't believe how many people are here. It's become a very popular part of the festival now, and but nobody running around crazy. Still lined up.
Pretty relaxed.
Still asking questions. Still, going at it full speed. So, good for you, Vancouver. Go for it. Joining us now is another winemaker, Derek Concannon. He's the winemaker at Inniskillin, Okanagan. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
And are you enjoying? You're the theme country this year. Is it crazy out there, or how is it going?
It is. It's you get the rush right at the start because they come in through the doors and they come running in and seeing what you have to taste, and then as sort of the day progresses, they move into the international section. So it's quite a different experience than being on the international side.
On the other side, yeah. Well, it's good for Canada to step up and be, one block. It's necessary.
It is.
It's good. Well, let's start with Inniskillin. Let's get a little background for our listeners who maybe don't know anything about Inniskillin.
Sure. Inniskillin actually started out in Ontario back in 1974. Mm-hmm. We were the first to get our winery license since Prohibition, which is 1920. So two gentlemen, Carl Kaiser and Donald Giraldo, started us off. And then moved on into about 1996. They came out west and they saw some potential and they bought a property, and we started Inniskillin, Okanagan.
Yeah, and you're down on the in the South Okanagan, in what would we say, south of Oliver?
South of Oliver, the Golden Mile. We're actually
in the
Golden Mile Bench.
Yeah, exactly. Even better description. Great. Well, we've got a couple wines, and the first wine we're starting with in the Discovery Series.
Discovery Series, yes.
Chenin Blanc, which is a wine where we see surprisingly a bit more every year out of BC.
There's a little bit more. You have your Road 13 and Quails Gate. They make some.
Yeah.
We've been producing it for a few years, and our Discovery Series is just about wines that are grapes that you don't find normally in the Okanagan Valley. So we have the Chenin, the Tempranillo, Pinotage, Sangiovese.
Chenin, well, of course, there's a lot of Chenin Blanc in the Loire, and then, of course, there's a lot in South Africa as well.
Yes.
But it seems to me that the Somms and the young writers are crazy about Chenin Blanc.
Yeah, it seems to be growing in popularity, especially, we make around 1,000 cases of it. It's we have one small block of it on our McIntyre Bluff, sort of on this cooler plateau in Oliver, and it's quite a different wine to make.
Yeah, how would you describe it? I mean, it's not Chardonnay. How would you describe it to our listeners, what the style of this wine is? Or?
To me, what we try to do is it's a cross kind of between your Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, that little bit of grassy, honey character, refreshing on the palate. It's known for its acidity, and we get great acidity on our site that we have.
So it's food friendly.
It is. I would say ceviche would be very good with it.
Yeah?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm always the acid in ceviche. I guess it would. I mean, there's plenty in this, so it would stand up to it.
I think so.
Yeah, it's quite nice. So this is a finished sample. I guess it's going to be bottled soon, or
yeah, on Tuesday is the scheduled date. So we have it all ready, and we're ready to put it in bottle and get it back out in market.
We haven't talked much about 2016 with anybody on the show. Was it a good year to talk about or think about as a growing season? Or
it was. It was a different year than we're used to. Whereas normally we had a really hot early spring.
Mm-hmm.
February was classified as spring for us last year.
Yeah.
And we were tracking more heat units than ever before, even 2015 early on.
Yeah.
And then come July, they turned the heat off, and that was about it.
So you canceled those August holidays and then you put them back on?
Put them back on. I actually harvested August 23rd in 2016. Which is early.
Yeah.
Is that the earliest you've harvested?
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yes.
A few days earlier, a couple of years ago. Some whites down south that needed to come off, so we did that. And then the fall was pretty good. We had a very long growing season, which was really good. Some cooler nights helped get the acid and the flavors out, and it was great.
It's a really nice wine, super bright and the varietal character is excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you own this site or?
Yeah, it's on our McIntyre Bluff. So we have mainly whites up there on the vineyard. We have some Gewurz, Pinot Grigio. There's a bit of Malbec and a few things.
So Discovery Series is not a huge production. So how do people get a wine like this?
The Chenin Blanc is distributed throughout BC. Some of our smaller varieties like Tempranillo and stuff, you may just only find them at our wine shop.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple hundred cases of that.
But we might find this in some private wine shops around the
province.
Correct,
yeah, you'll see that around BC.
Yeah, great. And will it be finished under screw cap or cork? Or?
It will be cork.
Okay, why is that?
That's just traditionally how we've done it. We have been looking and doing trials with the Stelvins.
Yeah.
And it's something that we've been pushing for, so we'll see in the next couple of years what happens.
Okay, lovely wine. Wine number 2 that you brought is a Pinot Grigio.
Correct, yeah.
Which is a great talking point for us because, of course, British Columbia has a lot of Pinot Gris. What's Pinot Grigio?
Well, this one actually I made more in what we call it our reserve Pinot Gris. We do make a Pinot Grigio for our that's widely distributed from Enniskillen. The Pinot Grigio for us, the one that we make, typically that you find out in BC is very fresh, fruity, lively. And then this one is a wine only skew.
Okay.
That we make more of a bigger style.
The richer style. So it's a Gris style.
It's a Gris style.
Okay.
So we make both styles as under the Enniskillen
All
label.
Right. There's a lot of discussion about Pinot Gris, that it never reaches the greatest heights. Or how do you feel about it in terms of? I think maybe people overproduce it sometimes, or
It's a very popular variety, and it's just a matter of picking it at the right flavors. Depends on do you want that light, little spritzy kind of Pinot Gris, or do you want something that has a bit more flavor to it for a Pinot Grigio? We tend to pick it to get that fruitiness, that flavor to it for the Pinot Grigio.
Yeah.
And in this one here for the Pinot Gris, I let it hang on the vines. This comes from our Thomas Ranch vineyard in OK Falls, from one specific block. And we let it hang till it gets fairly ripe and fairly juicy. Bring it in, and then I put it in some French and American oak barrels. Let it sit for about 3 months and did some barrel fermentation, lee stirring on it.
Yeah.
And then brought it out.
It's a bit more Alsace style, maybe, or
it's kind of a in between.
In between.
Yeah. Okanagan style.
That's a great.
Yes, good thing to
great
say.
Response. Yeah. Let's taste that. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is almost right in the middle of that.
Yeah.
I think both these wines would be good with cheese, like soft cheeses.
Do you when you make all these wines, do you think about food very much, or is that?
We do. More when we get sort of to the blending standpoint, or when we start to make barrel decisions, we'll kind of look at it. Okay, where do we need to put different things in our portfolio to go with different foods?
Yeah.
And then when we do the blending process for them, we make samples and we take them home and we have them with food and give it a go just to see how they're going to taste.
Yeah. Our guest, by the way, is Derek Concannon. He's the winemaker in Enniskillen. You've got one of the great not tiny, but one of the great small vineyards in the Okanagan that runs up the back of the property.
The Dark Horse Vineyard.
The Dark Horse Vineyard. It's such a gorgeous site. That's a Golden Mile bench vineyard, or?
Yeah, it is under the new GI.
Under the new GI. So will you be using that on the label as well, or?
We plan to. Yeah, we have a couple. We make a few Dark Horse wines. We have our Meritage at our booth today.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out with a new Dark Horse Chardonnay as well, which will be about 200 cases. Barrel fermented, barrel aged.
Yeah.
It's coming out in the summer. We have our Cab Franc, of course, and then some of the wines off of there actually go into our Discovery Series. We have Tempranillo there, Pinotage.
Cab Franc's become very popular, eh?
It has, yeah. We had a conversation with one gentleman there earlier today, and he was asking about Cab Franc and why isn't there more of it.
Yeah.
It's a great variety for the Okanagan. It's very versatile.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any snakes in that vineyard up there, behind you?
We have rattlesnakes there, and then in the fall you're blessed with bears.
Oh my goodness! And because they like the grapes.
The bears do, yeah. That's one of the main.
So what do you do with that? How do you keep them out of there? I've heard there's those. I hear those guns are up there, and
those are for birds.
The bird bangers that make a loud bang.
That doesn't keep the bears away.
No, there's not much that can keep a bear away. Even if you put a bear fence around the vineyard, they'll climb over it or they'll go under it.
Yeah.
Really?
So you kind of have to just you just drive around on your quad and try to scare them.
Scare them, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be a good job for you, Casey.
I love it.
Driving around scaring bears.
Yes.
Yeah. Be like running around the studio before the show.
That's right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
It's always interesting when you go taste grapes with your vineyard manager and he has a can of bear spray with him.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
So you mentioned visiting the tasting room. Is it open soon or now or year-round?
It's open year-round.
Yeah.
And then come the spring, our wine shop manager, Steve Ward, he does a great job. He has a excellent ice wine and food pairing, and he shows the versatility of ice wine. We have 5 different ice wines, and he pairs it with sweet and savory. So you might have a pork satay and a blue cheese with a sriracha jelly on it, and then like an apple cream.
Are you doing that down in
right at the winery? Yeah.
At the winery.
In the wine shop, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, Derek, great to catch up with you today and taste two really lovely wines. The Enniskillen Discovery Series 2016 Chenin Blanc, which is the cost. Did I write that down, or roughly?
Roughly $15, $16. Yeah.
Okay, and the Reserve Pinot Gris, the 202016.
It's around $17.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us today and sharing some thoughts. Chasing the bears, too. I love that. Yes. Yeah, it's a great vineyard. I love it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Derek Concannon, he's a winemaker at Enniskillen in the Okanagan. We're coming to you live from the floor of the Vancouver National Wine Festival. It's year 39. Canada is the theme. Casey Wilson's 39, so that sort of all comes together. Yes, you can remember
my age easily.
And we'll take a quick break. When we come back, guess what we're going to talk about? Wine.